How did I get scammed in Hong Kong? From the very beginning, there were huge red flags that I shouldn't take on this project. First of all, the organization itself, everything was as disorganized as possible, unclear deadlines, nothing concrete, just something like around this time, maybe this month. On top of all that, I had agreed on a 50% advance payment, but they only gave me 30% upfront. I decided to trust them because before this I had worked on smaller projects but still had worked with this person. What I realized is that this is something you should never do. In the end, I will never do this again. So I went to Hong Kong for a week to paint, right in the center of Hong Kong, at the Tsim Sha Tsui metro station, in an underground passage. As a result, we ended up painting at night. The materials provided were not the ones I had ordered. On top of that, the person decided to save money on the hotel. For the first 2 days, another artist and I stayed in the hotel, but for the remaining 5 days, we lived on a boat. As an experience, it was actually pretty cool. Honestly, the boat was nice, it was fun, it was great. The problem was that this didn't go well with working at night. Yes, we painted at night, which also hadn't been discussed in advance. I don't know why I gave in, completely caved on this project and just went along with whatever the client wanted. As a result, to get from the boat to the shore, we had to call another boat, and it was the same to get back. We were hauling ourselves on a boat like this to get to our boat. Our boat was over there. This boat, which ferried people from the shore to our boat, only operated until 2 in the morning. As a result, we painted for only about 4 or 5 hours a day at most. And of course, that amount of time just isn't enough to do quality work. In the end, out of the 4 murals I did during that trip, I'm only satisfied with one, because only for that one did the colors we were given at least more or less match what was needed. So I come back from Hong Kong, wait for the money for a month, then another half a month goes by. I ask, "Where's the money, Lebowski?" All this time they keep making excuses, telling me later, later, later. We're waiting for a response from the government. We'll transfer the money after the Easter holidays in Hong Kong. The holidays pass. I say, "So what's up?" And they tell me, "You need to go to Hong Kong again on May 16th. I say, "All right, I can come, but only for 1 day. I'll come, attend the opening, wave to everyone, and leave." And they're like, "No, that's not how it works. No. I start telling them, "Guys, I'm not your employee, we're just working together on a project and that's it. You can't speak to me in that tone, demand things from me, and expect me to drop everything at your first request when you haven't even paid the full advance." In response to this, I was told that I demand too much and that I'm difficult to work with. In the end, I said, "At least pay me the rest of the deposit and then we can talk." To this, they told me, "Oh, you're so difficult. Fine, we'll pay you 50% of the deposit and we won't work with you anymore since you don't meet the working conditions." Only 50%, I emphasize, not an additional 50, but just 50% in total, was paid for the work. And with that, our collaboration ended. I had thoughts about giving in, not losing the remaining money, and still working with them on their terms, which absolutely did not suit me. But after a brief reflection, I realized that my mental health, my nerves, and my time are worth more than the lost profit from this project. I believe this is a sound decision. Sometimes you have to choose yourself over money because the time and health spent on such projects will affect your life, your productivity, and your creativity in the future. The monetary profit gained in this way will not make up for the lost opportunities from other projects, where you won't be able to give your all, or where you might miss out on some projects entirely simply because you'll be exhausted and unable to work. That's the kind of experience it was. Maybe it will be useful for you, or maybe you've already been through similar situations. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm interested to hear what you think about this.